Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Mariner of Spirit. I'm Greg. I'm your host. We are waiting on our guest, and she's in Ireland. Hopefully, she'll be here shortly. I hope she was able to get the signal to go. So that's the first thing I'll let you know. Uh, Her name is Jenny Sullivan Sunyasi. She's a paranormal investigator, and she started two groups over there. One of them's is Emerald Isle Paranormal, and the other one was Shadow Whispers in the Night. She's an amazing lady. Not only does she hunt ghosts, or that's the wrong thing to say. She's a paranormal investigator, and she's also works a lot of research over there on a lot of the castles and a lot of the stories through the ages of what goes on there. And she'll be at one castle for like 4 months in a row, or she'll talk about that. But anyway, I found it really interesting that she's also into animal rescue and and shelters animals. So that's pretty amazing in itself. And I just go down and say hi to Danny, Linda, Nancy, Noonan Kelly, Crystal Hill, and some of the things that are going on. I'll start out by going ahead and mentioning everybody that the people that I support and the organizations. And since I didn't mention this last show, I'll start out with the Jessica Petrie Foundation. And that's a research for expecting mothers and families and pregnant ladies with mental issues. Uh, this lady who was Jessica Petrie died after had given birth to a baby a while after, and it's hard to handle. She's happens to be or was the daughter of Howard Petrie, who's with different channels on here as far as uh, the different groups, and it's really great to have him around. And he's the one that's doing that big Paracon down in New Orleans, Scarefest, I believe it is, and it looks like it's going to be one big event. And I want to say it's the 27th, 28th of the month, I believe. I don't know for sure. Check your calendars or check Facebook, and you'll see a lot on that. The second one is Tim Miley and Potographs. Tim is a great guy. He started out where he lost his pooch, didn't know if he was going to continue. And I think a lot of you people know the story. But anyway, for those that don't, he became quite despaired when he lost his pup and didn't know if he was going to continue on or not. He didn't know how he could handle it. As it turned out, he went ahead and came up with an idea, and he had a picture of himself and the pup who had died, and made pictures of it. And he was in the paranormal, and he went ahead and got a booth or grabbed a table at a Paracon and sold pictures of himself and this pup and autographed him. And the money that he raised from that went to this charity that he proceeded to name Photographs. And he's done a great amount of help for the animals and for the rescues. And he'd love to go ahead and get a hold of Jenny, because Jenny's the same kind of person. Uh, they love animals and they do great work. The third one was PKC, Paranormal Kicks Cancer, with Chris Gaskowski and Alex Wilkinson, and they're from down in Florida. And every year they do fundraisers, uh, haunted events all across Florida, and they go all the way up into Tennessee and all over the place, really. But they have everything scheduled. If you check them out, PKC, you can get an idea of the events. Most of them are coming to a halt because of, we're going into the dark season now with the weather. So it's a little different, but check them out. And if you run into them, say hi. They're great, great people. And it's two of them. It's him and her, and they do an amazing job. My couch lost limbs. I'm not gonna say a lot because he's pretty much folding up shop. He's actually moved out. He's still there, but I think at the end of the year he will be gone. And his sister Crystal is going to be going ahead and taking over the hotel, which is the Rhodes Hotel in Atlanta, Indiana. And he's done an amazing job with Lost Limbs, and it's coming to a close. But he still deserves a lot of kudos, and he deserves a lot of people to go ahead and pat him on the back for a job well done, because he did some amazing events too. And all that money went there, and it was him and Robin Terry, and Robin Terry's from uh oh, now I'm going to forget that word, but he helps Mike helped Mike go ahead and secure the roads and carried it on through the years, and they've done a great job. Uh, as far as Robin Terry is concerned, he has another location that's called the Haunted R, and that's south of Springfield, Illinois, and it's in Auburn. I want to say Auburn, Illinois, and every year he had an event, but now that event's done with too. He's hanging up his hat too, as far as that's concerned. So there's a lot of places around that need a lot of help, and there's a lot of people that should help out. And it would be great if you got a wild hair and you want to do something unusual or unbelievable. Join us. Try to join up with some people and go ahead and support a location. I mean, we have a lot of locations around there, and we have a great deal of time, and we have a lot of talent with all the people that we have. So uh, check out Spaced Out Radio. I checked it out about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I thought it was an very interesting Facebook page. There is a new movie out by the Museum of the Haunted Museum of the Paranormal and the Occult, which is Greg and Dana Newkirk, and they were the ones that did Hellier, and they're back again with a new one, and it's called The Unbinding, and it's on YouTube now, and it's available. So, and if you don't have an imagination and you can't figure out what the Unbinding is, it's a box. It's a I want to say it's like a mummy almost, and they go ahead and unbind it and let it out. So I'm not going to say any more about that because that's pretty crazy. Uh, the other day we were doing some work. We were doing another show, and we were doing it with Emmy McKenzie and Reggie Randall and myself, and we were with on the program that's called Through the Lens, and that's going to be on Sunday afternoons, and that's Mr. Brian Lafferty, and he's part of I want to say Per 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 whatever it is. Per I can't think of the name. I'm pretty screwed up right now because my guest is here. But please bear with me. Anyway, they came up. They have a program that's out Sunday afternoons at 3 in the afternoon, and we're going to be the guests on it. And Brian's from up in Canada. So I don't know how long it's going to be, but it's going to be pretty neat. And Emmy McKenzie's from out in Idaho, and she happens to have a husband by the name, they call him J Mac, and J Mac has got a podcast on YouTube, and it's called Free Thursday. Why not? And he's J Mac, and I met him the other day. I went onto his show and wanted to see what it was all about, and it's quite interesting. So if you get the opportunity, stop by and see him too. Uh, that's some of the things that I wanted to talk about. We can talk about the authors too. We have the authors that I like or support. Excuse me. Are Ron Iacovetti. You've got Lynn Monet. You've got Dr. Rebecca Foster. You have Bruce Holliday. You have Rex Nielsen, who I just got his new book the other day from him. Todd Bates and Heatherly Langdon. And there's a couple more that I should add onto that list, but I got to make sure that I have my I's dotted and my T's crossed. So before that, if anybody has any questions, they want to ask a question before our guest gets here, please do so. If I could go ahead and say to Brandon, if you can go ahead and get a hold of Reggie. We never had Reggie on the show, Randall. And if she shows up, she shows up, and if Reggie's on, Reggie's on, and we'll play it that way. And I can go ahead and interview Reggie too, because he's never been on any of our shows here. So I hope everybody's enjoying themselves tonight. It's not our intention to play this route, but we have to. Tracy Rizzo's in. Great shirt maker, great lady. Gets them on time. If you want to check out Tracy and get an idea of the work that she does, I have a T-shirt, but I don't have it down here now. It's the one that Brandon had. And it's Dobo is the 4 letters on the front of the T-shirt, and it's on the back end it's got a haunted doll, and it's got the little crystal or the little cat balls, and it's on the front. The DOBO stands for dolls out, balls out. So it was an interesting T-shirt, and Brandon does some amazing things. Everybody that in our group here are amazing too. I mean, with the shows that we have, the people that we know, it keeps on growing and growing and growing, and it's amazing. There's amazing people that are in the chat right now. We went all the way down. I think we went to Crystal Hill, and then Adriana came on. She's on. Hello, Adriana. Kimmy Corpse is here. Kimmy. We said Tracy, Becky Evans, the amazing Becky Evans from, I got to get it right. Well, she's in the state of Washington. Bremerton is where Becky Evans is from, Washington, which is where the big Navy base is, which is pretty cool. I've been there 3 times. Just look at ships. Russell Reynolds. Hello, Russell. How you doing? Uh, and that's about it. And then, as Rihanna says, special thank you for everyone that rescues and helps animals. It is hard sometimes. Yeah, it's a great, it's a very giving task because you got to. I don't see how our guest, if she finally makes it, I think she's having problems with her broadcast because she is out in the castle right now. And that was going to be the thing about it is we were going to go ahead and really have a great time with her being on site. And so far, it's not panning out. I know some of the other people that are in here. Danny Botts and Linda Kruger are members of the Lakeville Historical Society, and I'm a member there too. And I don't think there's anybody else here that are from Northern Illinois, but we uh, we have a little town, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and we just have a great historical society, and we have a lot of great things, a lot of like great pictures, and we have a whole big room of all these items that came from the schools and everything else. The historical society, the original building was the rescue squad, and it had two trucks in it that were used out of the building that we now have the historical society. So that in itself is really cool because we spent some time and don't let everybody know about it, but we spent some time in there, and I think some people know that we've done some investigating in there, and we were able to go ahead and actually talk to some people in different trades and different professions, including the rescue squad people. And we've done that over probably, I think, the last 5 years. So, that part in itself is really great because the town does have quite a history about it, and started in the 1890s. And they're hard to find. And every year we do a cemetery walk and sort of raise funds for the historical society. And we've got quite a few smaller cemeteries that are like maybe 300, 400 graves. But because of the size of the town, and we have a couple neighboring ones that are really, really nice cemeteries, pretty cemeteries too. And they hold a lot of secrets. Hey, Phil Wyatt's here, and Phil Wyatt is going to be on next week. And can't wait for him to come on because Phil's an amazing investigator from Georgia Paranormal, and he also does. I get my words right. He also does a show on Facebook that's called Paranormal 101. It used to be, or is it? It used to be Ghost Ed 101, Ghost Education 101. Anyway, it's Phil and Heather Lee Langdon, and they go over everything. So if you're a new investigator and you want to be able to learn the proper way of doing things, they are two people that you want to watch their show. And if you don't want to, you can't watch it live, you know, go back to their recordings and check it out because it'll tell you exactly the way you need to go about your business as far as investigating is concerned and even your researching. So, there's a lot of people in this field, and we've been talking about it quite a bit the last probably 4 or 5 weeks, and it all happens to deal with the way things are being handled in the paranormal. And there's people in the paranormal that are not conducting themselves in the proper fashion. And there's things that are happening that aren't good. And these things have to be corrected. And the only way they can be corrected is like Phil and Heather offer that kind of classroom. And it's not a classroom. It's just like me, I'm sitting here and I would tell you the same thing that they would. There's certain approaches that you have to take to every different method or technique in the paranormal field. I know that I take what we do on Wednesdays quite seriously. I do for sure. And everybody that comes into the comments section on Wednesday night is pretty much given the suggestion that they have to set the intention as well as we do to go ahead and talk to spirits through ITC communication. And it's a kind of show that, if you have your right, if you do that, you do have your right intention, and you do go ahead and ask to be used as a conduit by which through which spirit speaks, amazing things happen. And I am not the prophet of that. I am not anything as far as that's concerned. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm merely the conduit. They speak through me, and they speak through the people that work with me on the show. And there's, quite a few. Well, we're going to have, Greg Bakken came back last Wednesday. We had a great show. He had to leave at 9 o'clock, so Diana and I did the second session, and it's a double Estes is what we do. And there's the moderators ask the questions and throw the comments out to us and see how we reply. And we all have, headphones on, and we have blinders. They look like this, and it says right on the front, "Do not disturb," which means a lot to some people. And we asked for them to go ahead and help us out. And we use spirit boxes. We use SB7s. You can use an S box. You can use a ink box S. I've used an ink box XS quite successfully. It's right up there with the straight Spirit SB7. The new one that just came out, and I haven't really read all the details on it, is that new SB7 Pro. Maybe for Christmas I could get it, but that was Gary Gulke, and he's the one that developed the Mel meter, and that is a very intricate device that can tell you point blank if something's really going on where you're at. And he made the Mel meter, and he called it Mel because Mel was his daughter, and she died in a car crash. And he made that meter, and now he is the one that developed this new SB7 Pro. And it looks like, it appears to be quite a piece of equipment. So, if you guys are interested in that, look that up. There's a lot of other people that are in the field that are doing some great work with boxes, especially, my family is Supernatural Inc. My other family is Dark Horse Paranormal. I love to work with both of them, but this is really my real family right here, along with Dark Horse. You can't go ahead and give up on people. Oh, Chris Stant, thank you. Tracy Rizzo says it was perfect timing, though. I was in another room a few hundred miles away and was putting everything away when he said it. I don't know what that pertains to, but anyway, where we were on equipment, and if you guys have any questions about equipment, if you're new and you like to know some things about it, I go all the way back to Huff and portals, and use those for a little bit, and I still pull it out occasionally if I have something really going on, because it you can really pick up things with it. Not that you can't with all the other devices I mentioned, but it's got its moments, and it's something where you could go ahead and if you're really working with a spirit and you're asking a lot of questions, you can go ahead and get a lot more answers from that alone. Uh, I know that it's really interesting to think that we're here. We're already a half hour in, and did we hear anything from her? Did we hear? Did you get a hold of Reggie? Okay, I uh, I think we're gonna go ahead and do something. See if you can get Becky or Kimmy Corpse or Becky Evans. I want to save a few of these other people for later on down the line. Uh, and I'm not picking and choosing. I'm just trying to go ahead and get a show going here without me going ahead and talking all night. I don't mind it. I can do it. I can go ahead and try to go ahead and keep you guys entertained. But I don't know if you saw the shows this week. I don't know if you saw one Spirit Connect or not on Wednesday night, but that was another one of those shows that really they were very cooperative that night, and gave us the opportunity to go ahead and really do some amazing things. Thank you, Ezriana. Uh, it's something that we like to try to go ahead and keep it going that way, and it's hard to believe. Well, I think a straight ghost box, if you not so expensive, would be your straight SB7. Uh, your nanocoms will run you about $1.50. Maybe they're a little more expensive now. They look like this, and they're a very very nice machine, and they really connect. Uh, I'm going to probably end up, what I'll do is, down the road here, I'm not really prepared to go ahead and go through all the gear and everything. Uh, the important parts would be that if you had any intentions on getting into an Estes, and I can tell you right now why I do it. It goes back probably six or seven, almost 7 years ago, and we were at Gettysburg. Here's Miss Becky Evans. You ready, Becky? How come I can't? How come my clicker ain't working? I'm not hearing her. I'm not hearing you either.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear Becky. Hi, Becky. This is Becky Evans. This is an amazing lady from out in Bremerton, Washington.
I'm
Uh,
hearing a lot of back.
like feedback, like echoes. Are you hearing an echo?
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
it's
I don't know. I don't know what we should do. You want to try to continue, or if it gets too bad, you want to go out, come back in? Maybe try that with no with a little effort. I'd like to keep you on as long as you're here. You'll come back on. He'll let you back in. You want to try that? So where were we? Estes method, noise canceling headphones, uh, a good spirit box. You have to have the lines, the connections, and okay, let's. You got her. How about now?
okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. You still have the echo.
Nope. I think we're good.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Hmm.
Yes, like I can hear myself after a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I am over here on the West Coast. Of,
Is it too bad?
sorry, I am just like, hey, Brandon, can you hear that?
Yeah, you might want to see if you can connect from your computer.
Sorry, Becky. You want to try that? Okay.
I guess she's going to try that. Hello, Dark Horse Paranormal.
We're still waiting on our guest. I wonder if I should try to call her.
I mean, if you want to call Ireland, go ahead.
No, well, it's going to be.
Hello, Nancy.
It's on
Gimme
Facebook.
corpse. Gimme corpse. Gimme corpse.
Let me try.
Oh, I didn't realize I have my camera on. Y'all get a little behind the scenes where I halfway put up my green screen.
You get to see more of the gnome
Oops.
and the shaman.
Yeah, you get to. Yeah.
One and the
Not-
same.
That's right. I am not set up to be on tonight. Becky, I'm not sure why you were getting feedback. If you got earbuds or headphones, that would probably work. So, while we're waiting, I am currently looking for vendors for the Haunting at the Mill Paracon 2024. I'm looking for vendors and sponsors. And yeah. You got your fuzz cut and it looks good. You know what? I haven't had it cut in like 3 weeks. So So yeah, if you want to be a vendor or a sponsor, email me at bam. There we go. Look at it. shamansundays@gmail.com. Also go and follow the Haunting at the Mill Paracon group and page on Facebook. I'm starting to look a little old in this 4K camera.
Who is?
Me. I mean, you are too, but me. Oh. Hello, Donna. Like, to your viewers, I mean, are you guys seeing me in 4K? Because this is bad. I mean, look at you see. I'm starting to look like my dad. Oh no. Oh, sorry. So anybody got any questions?
Yeah, that's what I asked.
For Greg Kos, the Mariner of Spirit.
Danny Bot says that I always mention food in my sessions. That's just, it's automatic, isn't it? We're males. Don't we? Isn't food in the back of our minds?
Yes, like I'm thinking about the slice of buttermilk pie that I have downstairs waiting on me when I go down there.
I got a hot fudge sundae.
Ooh, yes.
But he get them and brings them home and puts them in the freezer.
Hello, Anne Marie Young.
Anne Marie, hi. And then we have, of course, Dark Horse Paranormal, Chris Carr and Kristen Johnson.
Bigfoot and the booby. I mean, bunny.
Carr and Kristen. Great people.
How about now?
Hi.
Hey. Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Now I can go away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry
where
about
were
that,
we?
guys.
No, that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, I had to get to my laptop over here and get on here.
You sound like a pilot now.
Oh yeah.
Say attention passengers, we're
oh yeah.
We're at 36,000 feet and plan on being in Seattle in approximately 3.5 hours.
Hey Ann. Hey everybody.
Hey Donna. So we were saying before all that echo and that stuff started out, we were talking about who you are and what you do. And can you go ahead and give a little brief piece of the pie?
Well, I'm over here on the West Coast right now. I've been working a lot of hours and everything, but I'm in the process of moving over to the East Coast soon. So I'll be heading over that way. I am also learning. I'm opening up. I'm an empath, sensitive. I do tarot. I've been learning a lot about myself when it comes to clairs. I got a lot to learn. I'm still doing, classes with a lot of those I'm getting help with other people. So yeah, I'm just, basically all over the place right this moment. Of course, I take care of my dad. On top of that too. So yeah, I'm do a lot on top of work.
And you also like crystals, right?
Oh, I'm all about crystals. I love if right now they're being packed up at the moment, so I can't pull them out.
That's okay, but I was just bringing it up because it's interesting if somebody in the chat has a question about crystals as far as what certain ones are used for, you have a good idea of what they all mean, right?
Oh, well, there's quite a few of them. I still don't know a whole lot about them. I'm still learning. There's a lot of them that are, I'm starting to hear newer stones coming out of the blue that I've never heard of before. So, of course, I start Googling or I start opening up a book of crystals and say, okay, so what is this stone for? So, of course, I'm always, researching, okay, what does this stone do and what is the properties behind it? Um, I do. Oh, yeah, you can never have enough crystals. I agree. I've always been attracted to crystals. I'm always attracted to metaphysical stores. Um, Everywhere I go, gotta find if I can find a store, just gotta, I'm in there. Straight to the gemstones I go. Um, I do have a friend that sells them on Facebook, and she's awesome. She sells them at a really great price, and she's, very trustworthy. And I love her stones. Her stones are top notch, and I've always majority of my stones come from her. But I have do go to metaphysical stores
Is
because I
she out?
love.
Is she out from the West Coast too?
No, she's from Michigan. She's up in Michigan.
Okay. I know that over here
Mhm.
in Northern Illinois, we deal with the lady Sandy Frankowski, Cornwall, who
Yeah,
is a psychic medium, and she's from up in Portage, around the Portage area, Westfield area in Wisconsin, and a lot of the people that come into the chat do go on her show quite a bit, and she
yeah.
does a live, and you go ahead and get your crystals that way. And there's one person that she's not in here right now, so I'm just going to mention it anyway. I said that she has so many crystals now, just from what I've seen her buy, that she has to go ahead and put new supports under her floor above her crawl space, just so the living room floor doesn't collapse.
To answer your question, my favorite gemstone that I do have is a black moonstone. I have a sphere that I have it on my office desk. It's 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 the most drawn. I keep it right there, and when I get stressed out, I pick it up, and it basically helps me stay calm down. Um, it's something that I was drawn to. I like that black moonstone.
I have them too, so I'm you know I'm not one that can go ahead and say anything about anybody else without having my own business. The only reason I like them down here is it's the basement, so it's concrete. So you can put a lot of weight down here, and it's not going to go through the concrete.
Well, as I say, when I get moved and everything, I'm hoping I find a good spot that has a lot of storage space so I can bring all my gemstones out to
Yeah, that would be really
display.
that would be really pretty, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have it set up. It's definitely gonna be set up for sure. Right
So
now, they're all packed up at the moment.
so have you done a lot of investigations,
I've been doing, I mean, not lately due to, taking, doing a
courses,
lot of
and
work over here and everything. I used to do a lot of investigations when I was over on the East Coast, but lately it's just like, here and there. The last time I was over at the Haygood Mill,
yeah.
um, with everyone, and it was an awesome experience, and I want more of that. um,
I have to get my ticket shortly here.
yes, you're gonna have to. It's the I say it was awesome, and it's gonna be more fun than it ever. It's just gonna be awesome.
It's just a privilege to be there, and like I said earlier, that Supernatural Link is amazing. You know, Katie and KD do an amazing job. Brandon
Oh
has
no,
come
Brandon
on
did an
board.
awesome job. Even though he everything he did on his own, I mean,
as far
what
as
he
as far as the
was.
Paracon.
Yes, he did
That's
a
why he has
lot.
that receding hairline now.
Yes, but he did an amazing job, and
He's
I
just
like I said, I'm gonna be there this next time, and like I said, I volunteer to help this next go around if I have. I will, and
I
it's an awesome event, and by far there was a lot of people, and there's a lot. It was amazing, and everybody was wholesome and friendly, and everybody got along, and it was an amazing, amazing event, and everybody was awesome.
Everybody got along. Did you go to the same Paracon I went to?
Oh, whatever. Well, well, I liked it.
you know
I saw everybody get along.
there's going to be one at the end at the first at the 7th of October out here by me. That's going to have Rex Nielsen there. He's going to be there. So I have an opportunity to meet him in Illinois. He's from Iowa,
Oh,
but
you're going to the haunted YMCA, aren't you?
yeah,
I would love to go to that, but of course I'm doing the trip up there to the Mass Paracon. Um, like I said, I wish I could split myself in half and do the South Dakota uh, do the Supernatural Inc. thing and do the Mass Paracon, but I got invited to go to the Mass Paracon before I knew about the.
yeah. Before we end tonight, uh, we'll talk a little bit about that, and I know that I'm just looking here. Have you ever been in a metaphysical store that didn't have good energy?
Oh yes, I've been in quite a few where went in there, I went right back out, and the vibe did not feel comfortable, and just the people that were running it, you definitely didn't feel comfortable, and yeah, you turn right around,
Okay.
you run.
I've only been in two of those, and it was like it I found it hard to believe it could possibly be like that. That somebody had to bring some bad energy in or something, just like an investigation or location.
Well, there's also too, you have people that come into the store, you got, some people that have ill will and ill intentions and can bring that into the store. And if the person that's running the store does not, you know,
Cleanse it.
does not realize that that person has put some kind of ill will toward that store or towards somebody in that store, of course, that's gonna put some kind of, I call it bad juju, toward anybody. That's gonna rub off, and that's just gonna steer people away from their store. They're gonna realize, they're losing a lot of money. For what reason? They're gonna realize, hey, why are we not getting any customers? They're running, something's going on. They're gonna realize, hey, somebody's done something if they know what's going on.
Well,
If they know what's going on.
I was talking earlier about, investigations, and Phil Wyatt was in here from down in Georgia, and between him and Heather Lee Langdon, they do that course, that paranormal course on Facebook,
Hmm.
and it's 101. I can't remember. It's Paranormal 101, or it's Ghost Ed. They had a show before that was one of those titles, and then they were off the air and they came back. Do you think that's important for the field to have people telling people how the right approach they need to take as far as an investigation is concerned?
I think it is a good idea to show those that are new to the field, because if the people that are new to the field that don't know what they're doing, um, they can do something that brings something negative into the atmosphere. Um, I guarantee you. I mean, we had a lot of newbies, and Brandon can. I mean, Brandon wasn't able to be part of the investigation as much. There were a lot of people that have never been in the investigation at all at the Haygood Mill.
Were they were
So
they were they
they've never
given
been at an investigation,
were they
period.
given it were they given like a little
Yes,
time to go ahead
we
and
would
explain everything?
yeah, we explained, everybody explained everything. I mean, of course, everyone that was there, we explained what was going on. Of course, I stood back, those that were running their teams, we had different set of teams, and they explained what was going on. Of course, explained what the mail meter was at, or the voice recorder, or the spirit box. They knew what was going on after the fact. So I feel having a paranormal little, class or something for those that don't know what's going on in the paranormal field, it'll give them kind of an okay, so this is what's going on. Uh, Sorry,
Oh, it's okay.
or my my laptop did something. It disappeared. I disappeared off the screen.
You were on. You were on. I could see it.
Oh, sorry. Well, to me, I didn't see myself. um, but I feel that those that are new to the field can learn more by taking a class, or taking and being part of an investigation with those that know what they are doing. If that person is patient with the new people, you know taking them step by step of what, be patient with them and let them coach them along. If they're not coached along, they won't know what they're doing, is what I mean.
Yeah. So do you think, uh like, for instance, would you give a number of people that are new that should go into a building with, say, one or two people uh, sort of monitoring them, or do you think you could do more people than that?
I think it should stay in smaller groups, because smaller groups is a better way of teaching. You know, it's my dad.
There's your That's your dad. Hey,
That's my
Dad.
dad. Hey, he says, "Hey, Dad." He says hello to everybody.
Good evening.
He says, "Good evening." He can't hear you, um, but
But
um,
you know,
but I
I'm.
feel
I'm Go ahead.
but I feel smaller groups is better to go into a location, for if you're training someone, than it is for bigger groups, because contamination purposes.
Okay.
and everything.
So if you were part of that lead, do you think it's a good idea to really talk to those people before you bring them into the building?
Oh yeah, way before.
Maybe take
Always
a little
before you
longer,
go into a location. Yeah,
uh,
before you go into a location, explain the situation or explain to what you're about to do. What before you go into a location, a little bit about the history of the place. Because there are some people, you've got to let them know. You know, I feel that being a new person and I would need to know a little bit of history of the place, not a whole lot of the history. So that way, if like, say, if you're doing a spirit box or if you're doing like an EVP session or you're doing the Estes method and you touch on furthering the history of that location and you start touching on things, then of course, you know I, I'm
yes.
starting to mess my words. You know what I
No,
mean.
that's a, yeah. They. You see, my first 3 or 4, I really had no idea. I had no idea as far as your you're a guest. Uh, if you walk in, that you probably should announce the fact of who you are, and just like you would in somebody's house. And prayers are important, I think. What do you feel about the prayer of Saint Michael? Do you use it?
I think prayer is a good thing to protect yourself before you go into a location, and then no matter who you pray to, and pray after a location. That way, you have no one attached to you or follow you home
So
because
at
you can get attachments
right
from
at
the
the end,
location.
you would say another prayer, and then you would say, if there's anybody here with me, you're not allowed to come with me. You have to stay in the building where you were when we first came in. You're
Yes,
not allowed to leave the building
because you do
with
have
us.
a lot of spirits that like to attach themselves to you if you're very, very open,
I
if you
was
don't protect yourself good.
I was on an investigation, and we were in a coffee shop, a residence, like, that had the people living upstairs, and there was actually shadow figures underneath the kitchen table. That was like an animal. It was probably about the size of like a raccoon, that was going back and forth across the floor. And I saw it from the other room. And this was my first real investigation. And I was in the other room, and they weren't telling me too much. And the only thing they gave me a I can't think of the word right now for some reason. You're the one that you have the little lights in the top.
K2 meter.
K2. You see, I'm going. I must have had a brain fart.
We have
So
a lot of them.
yeah, yeah. So I had this K2, and it was laying on the table in front of me, and everybody was asking questions, and mine started to respond more. And as it turned out, there was supposedly, by the questions that were being asked, this is a little boy. And I was sitting in this chair, and all of a sudden, from my bottoms of my feet, my ankles, coming up, it was really cold, came all the way up my legs, all the way across my butt, and started coming up my back. And I said, "Is this the little boy?" And I said, light up, so many lights. I can't remember how many it was or whatever. And it did. And I said, I'm not your father, because that's what happened. The father died first.
Hmm.
Something happened there. But I says, but you can, and I said, if you want, I said, you can touch my hand. And I don't know where I came up with that. I don't have any clue. Maybe it was ghost hunters. I don't know. But I put my hand out and it actually went off my legs and my body and went onto my hand. And I said, thank you very much. And the lights went like that all the way 3 times. And I just had to go ahead and say at the end of the night, I walked out, unbeknownst to me, the idea that you were supposed to go ahead and say, you got to stay here. He didn't come home with me,
Yeah.
but just the thought of what we know today compared to what we knew back in the day, it's really mind-boggling, because I was with the group that had quite a leader, and there were things that happened over the years with me and him that led me to believe this none of this was right.
Right.
And I would voice my opinion, and then when I started doing that, well, there's the door, buddy. you know
Oh, for sure.
you can't knock the boss. So it's interesting to see, because as far as the pressure is concerned, that's when I go ahead and say, well, I can go my own way, just like a lot of other people do. And if
Hmm.
if I have somebody that can help me, that's one thing, and I can continue to go on. I don't need to you know beg him to take me back or anything like that anymore. And it's the same thing goes for paranormal groups, where you have somebody that goes ahead and actually falsifies evidence.
Oh gosh, yes.
You know,
I I it's just so bad that, you go to these locations and those that falsify evidence, it just makes it bad for those that are trying to legit make, you know, make it scientifically, legit for those out in the field. We're out there trying to make it legit, and then you got people that want to fake it, and it just makes us look bad in the long run, and it's just it's bad. I see the negative part of people, and then I see the positive, and if we keep doing what we're doing, I know we're not faking it. Let the negative do what they're doing, and just stay on your side, and we're going to stay on our side.
there's probably going to come a time where they're just going to get evaporated.
Yeah.
That the good spirits aren't going to put up with it. I think, and your guides, everything that I talk about on a daily basis with mine doesn't necessarily deal with what we're talking about right now. It's usually me and what's going on with me and what they can help me out with, and what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong.
Hmm.
And a lot of people don't look at it that way, but it's the way to go. I think you can't be living the life that you're leading, and not carry what you do in your life into the paranormal field. Yes.
That's real.
Lin- Linda hit it right on the
Yeah.
head. That's very important. And
for sure.
I knew that with Linda the first time I met her because her last name is Morrison. Okay, and I was at a table waiting to go into the Paracon, and she was checking in, and they said, "What's your name?" And she said, "Linda Morrison." And I says, "That's Jim's
Jim.
granddaughter." And ever since then, I really think the most of her, and she just I don't know what she thinks about me anymore. She thinks I'm
Sure.
crazy. She thinks I'm
Right
crazy.
along with
She,
it.
I'm like Morrison, except I'm no good at poetry, and I can't play a guitar, and I can hardly sing. But if I sing, it's a lot of his music. I enjoy that immensely.
Yeah, I
So,
love to sing. That's one thing I do love to do.
well, I'd have to do it I'd have to do it in a closed room.
Not like karaoke.
You do?
I do karaoke. Wherever I find karaoke, I'm there. If there's karaoke nearby, I'm there.
Where is there in Bremerton?
Uh, there's a place going toward Port Orchard that does karaoke. I don't know any places around here, but when I get moved on the East Coast, I know there's a couple of places.
Are they do they all have sailors in them? No. Where are
No,
all the
I don't
sailors
get
at?
out very much over here because I work so much.
I
Right
know.
now, my main focus is working
I
and
just
moving.
I just I just thought I'd go ahead and throw that in there just
There's a
for
lot of
giggles.
sailors around here,
Yeah.
though, because
Well then,
you see the ships go in and
yeah.
out. Because the Nimitz and the Roosevelt is always in and out all the time over here. And we have one of the submarines comes in and out, but I don't know which one that one is. Cause
It's a the one that I saw was really a big submarine. It was
yeah,
huge, and it was running, it was pushing the chase boats, and it had four chase boats, and I couldn't believe it was going that fast. But I guess that's what happens. But anyway, I'm not going to read that, Linda. I
Greg is a great example of someone who does the right thing and doesn't let his ego make his decisions. I read it for you, Greg.
thank you, Linda. But the work that we do, the work that I've been doing, I find it very hard to keep myself on the right track when it comes to doing a good show.
Mhm.
And people say what you need to do is you need to go back and watch your show. And I still haven't done it. I've watched the beginning twice, and I've never watched when I do an Estes. I never watched them, and I think it might be the way I need to keep going because I have to go in there fresh every time. I can't go in there knowing you did this or you did that. It's
Well,
all on the fly. You know,
well, I
and
do know
then
when I
it's not.
watch you, and when I'm all on there watching you do the S, there's one thing you say every S this time. Every time you say it, every time, and the last time me, Katie, and yeah, we were on there, and you always say they are watching. You always say that. And we're always asking, who are they? And you never say, who are they?
Katie brought it up with me after the end of a couple shows. I have no idea.
You keep saying they are watching.
I have no idea.
We
Maybe
will
they,
find out eventually. I
yeah.
know we will, but you keep saying they are watching.
That's spooky.
That's the one thing that keeps holding. I keep, getting from you when I'm watching the both you and like Chris was doing it, and Kristen was taking down notes, and then Carly, she was pulling tarot. It was when y'all are doing that, I'm like right listening everything y'all say, and she's pulling those tarot cards right along to what y'all are saying, right on the money, and it's like wow, it's amazing.
It's great because now we have such a rotating group of people.
Hmm.
And we got Victoria Monday now and her friend Carla, I believe it is,
Yeah.
and they're coming on, and I got a name for them, and I says it's the Texas Honeys. So I don't know how that's going to go too far. They may be shut me down pretty soon by saying that.
They they'll probably they'll like, "What you talking about?"
GK, you got to behave yourself. So I appreciate you coming on.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I know. I don't have no makeup on. I just
thank.
I would work in my just got out of work. Just
It's been awesome, and I know everybody in the chat that has been really nice tonight, and they mentioned a lot of great things. Yes, Katie, Kimberly Horn, and Chris and Kristen are awesome.
yeah, they all are. They're the sweetest people, and I know Brandon's listening. He's super super awesome as well.
He's shaking his head.
Yeah, he better not. He is. He's the know
Oh,
me. He's my know me.
he's blushing now. He's got his cheeks are red. You gotta see him. Well, everybody, I want to say thank you to Becky for coming on and making this worthwhile. It was really nice that you took the time to come on, and I want to thank everybody in the chat for being here. I think we mentioned everybody's name. I don't think we missed anybody earlier when I went through it. And if there's anything you guys need in the chat, you need to ask any other questions, you know where to find me. And it's just awesome that you were here tonight and you stayed with us. Thank you
and
very much.
and I'm on Facebook.
Yep,
Becky
that's right.
Evans, so you can always find me and friend me on
And
Facebook.
I apologize because I should have said that.
It's all good.
And it's just on Facebook. You got any other pages or anything?
Well, that'll come later. I am in the process. I'll be doing some stuff when I get situated, when I get moved. I've got some
So
things in the works.
awesome. So the next time we'll go ahead and mention everything. And if I don't, you just throw a rock at me and hit me in the head. No.
I don't know how strong of an arm I've got, but I will.
Okay.
But this is my second time on your show. This is awesome. So I've always enjoyed being on your show,
Thank you.
and anytime you need a backup plan, I'm natural beauty is real beauty. I appreciate it. Thank you, Linda.
Linda's
um,
amazing.
but
So
I appreciate it, and anytime you need a backup, I'm open to it. So
thank you, Becky. I appreciate it. Everybody, thank you for being here. Thanks for being around next week, Wednesday night on when Spirit Connects. We'll have the Texas Honeys on, and it's going to be a pretty good show. So we'll be doing that on that's on the ITC experimental page. So thanks again for everything, you guys. You guys have a wonderful evening. Good night.